Last session we discussed about how to deal with the setup for Angular workspace and what are the components in Angular workspace. So I think you all got the latest Angular 10 CLI, everyone? You got the latest Angular 10 CLI, right? Yes. Yeah. So we will continue with that Angular 10 CLI, right? Currently, yeah, currently, as I showed you yesterday, yeah, fine, it's okay. You can upgrade that. How to upgrade? Yesterday, I given you some points, right? Classroom Word document is already in the classroom. You can copy na. Its content. Downloading. You can copy the content na. What is in that, right? Right. So in my machine, I will update it to because already fine. Fine. So I will update my machine into 10 because already my classes and my all existing classes are there into this Angular 9. That's the reason. So we need some time to migrate all my projects into that, right? So environment, were you all able to create the workspace also? Everyone have done that, creating the workspace. Right. Yes, good. Yeah, it's fine. No problem. So by default, all your versions are 10 now because you installed. No problem. So some new features related to performance and all are included, right? Those you will learn. Node module not shown. So it's fine because when you install project packages, some packages may be not installed. So node modules will be added automatically when you install Bootstrap and other contents. So no need to worry about that, right? So it will automatically do that. Yeah. To install Angular latest version, yesterday I given you the points. Actually, if you already have older version, right? So you need to update. Node modules will be created automatically. Sometimes the packages may fail to install. Due to that, it may not be created, right? No issue. It will be generated for you. So in order to upgrade, so update your Angular CLI from older version to new. So to update from older version to new, so what you need to do is you need to run the command npm. So npm uninstall -g global @angular/CLI. after uninstall, right? Yes, it is 10.0.3, right? After uninstall, you have to write one more option is npm cache clear and hyphen force. That will be better. Cache clear, right? Then it will clean up the old version. Then after it cleans up the old version, now install. So this is install new CLI. After that you install new CLI, right? So you install the new CLI. New CLI, again npm install -g @angular/CLI. That will install the new CLI. You can even write @latest. It will get the latest. By default, it will get the latest version. If any minor release of latest version is not updated into the package, that also you will get by using this latest. That's enough. This is how you remove your older version and update the new version of Angular CLI. Updating the projects from old version to new version, it is a different situation, scenario. I will tell you later. For that, we need to understand how to update the projects also, right? Yeah. If workspace creation commands, remember, commands are all case sensitive. Capitalization matters. Everything we need to define in the correct capitalization, right? You need to define in correct capitalization. Okay. So up to this, I think everyone is clear setting up the workspace, right? How do we set the workspace? Everyone is clear with this, na? Right. Okay. Now let's see about the components. So that means how to create an application. How do we create an application? And what is the basic structure of application? We created a workspace actually. Now how we can create an application in this workspace? And what are the components present in that application workspace? We will see that, right? So let's create an application now. Already project is ready. So this is our workspace. This workspace is ready. In this workspace, I explained you the files that you have. And we will create an application in this workspace. So open the terminal, control backtick, it will open the terminal. And in the terminal, in order to create a project, then you have to run the command. You have to run the command. So that means workspace is ready. Now we will create a new application. Create a new Angular application. Angular application. So let's see how we can create a new Angular application. To create a new Angular application, first step, so you have to open the workspace. That means open terminal and change to your workspace folder. Already by default it will be in workspace folder, and type the following command, right? The command. So the command will be in this way. So we have to define in this way: ng generate application, and your app name. You can give any name for your application. So this is the command to create a new Angular application. To create a new Angular application, you have to run this command: ng generate application, ng generate application, and any application name. What name you want to give to your application, that you can define. So that means, suppose I am configuring here like ng generate application. Some I defined like Amazon. That is the application name. Because capitalization matters, I will keep the lowercase, so for better use later, right? Easily. So that means now it will create a project by name Amazon and add to your workspace. Remember, this you have to run in your workspace. Our workspace is yesterday project workspace. This is the location actually. That is the project workspace. So that is the location actually. In that project workspace, you need to add that. You need to run this command. It will create a new project for you. There are so many methods of writing the commands, shortcut methods, so many attributes will be there. So we will learn gradually all the shortcuts and attributes, how to work with them. So initially, now I will create a project in the workspace. So then what we have to do, ng generate and application, and here Amazon is the project name, application name. Okay, now enter. Now when you select this option, now so many questions will come. I am writing this command, ng generate application Amazon. Okay, when you select this first question, so this will prompt you some questions. So that means next step is, so this will prompt you with the following questions. It will prompt you with some questions. What are those questions? See, here the first question, would you like to share anonymous usage data about this project with Angular team? Then it will collaborate with the GitHub, and Angular team can use your project data. And for that you need privacy policy issues to agree and all, so that your application is collaborated with the Angular team, so official Angular team, and you can work with the shared library of Angular, and you can contribute to Angular. That is not required for this level. So we are not going to collaborate this project into the Google Angular teams. So we are not sharing any data, because this is personally we are creating for our general uses. We don't want to waste that repository by giving our data which is just under trials, right? Okay, so this is the first question asked to you. So this is the first question asked here, and that is the question. That is the first question here. So now this is the question. So the question asked is this. And here what we have to do is, so we need to say in this question, we need to say, so no, I don't want to share. That means I will use N here. So would you like anonymous? Then no, I don't want to share any anonymous. That is the option here. Okay. So no, I don't want to share anonymous. That is the first option. Okay. Second option. So after you choose that, I don't want to share the data of this project with Google team. Right. The next option, it is asking, would you like to add a routing concept to Angular? Would you like to add a routing concept to Angular? Actually, routing is used for navigation, and we can add routing whenever it is necessary for us. When we learn about routing, we will add it. So as of now, we don't want. So then here also I will say N, because it will give a predefined routing module for your application, which we don't want. We will create our own. We will create our own, right? So that means what we will do is we will create routing and add routing to the project whenever it is required. Whenever it is required. So we are not adding any routing module here. Okay. So routing module is not added. Fine. Next question. So I said no here. Okay. No. Next here, it is asking which style sheet format you want to use. Which style sheet format you want to use. So you have several style sheet format like CSS, like Sass, like Less, like Stylus. These are all CSS, various CSS style sheet formats. So all others have an optimized way of styles configuring. Different styles formats are available. So while developing, so better to go with CSS. Later we can use and convert into Sass and Less. We can use them also. So initially we will use Bootstrap. We will use our traditional CSS. Then better go with CSS so that you can utilize your Bootstrap skills. You can utilize your HTML, CSS skills here, and you can implement. Later, while production and while using in various other environments, so we can configure with the other style formats. I will show you later. Initially, the style sheet format, traditional style sheet format is CSS. I am choosing that CSS. It is saying that you can use your arrow keys and select which one you want from the list. By default, it is CSS. I will continue with that. Okay, enter. Now this will start creating, installing all the library for you. It will take a little while to install all the packages required for your project. It will take some time to install all the packages required for your project, because Angular project usually requires a lot of files, library, everything it will download and install for you. You need to wait for some time. So once the creation of application is finished, then we can observe the environment. What is the basic file system of Angular application here, right? So that means here first step is in the workspace. After defining all this, then next step is after configuring on this, next step here is it will simply configure saying that, so that means this will install all library required for Angular application. All library required for Angular application. Whatever library is needed for Angular application, it will create. Yes. So you need a connection with internet. So in order to install all these packages, because you have to download from online, right? These are all packages are not present in your machine. You need an internet connection for all these, right? So that it can download and install all the packages for you. First project, it will take a little while, right? Yes, I will tell you the environment. We are going now into the environment. Project name, what is the project name we given? What is our application name we given? Our application name is Amazon. I given a name for our application. That is the project name. Application name means project name only. Okay. That means we given a project name, and what is the environment? We will see that, right? So Amazon is itself the project name. We created a project by name this. Now this will install all the required library for Angular application. Then one more point is your new application, related application is in projects folder. Your new application is in projects folder. So that means you can see installed successfully. That means all the packages installed successfully, and our application is ready. Our project is ready. It has installed all of them. And immediately you can see that in our workspace, a projects folder is created. And whatever the applications that you create for your workspace, all the applications will be in these projects. Now you click here, you can see you have an Amazon project. In projects, you will have a folder called Amazon. Currently, we are having only one folder, one project here. In Amazon, you can see so many files are there again. In the projects, you can see there are so many files again. That means in Amazon, in this application, some more files are added. Some files will be similar to the files that you have seen in our workspace. What is difference? You will understand about that. What is the difference? We will discuss. What is the environment of our application? We will see. So all your applications are now in this projects folder. They are in this projects folder. So that means our workspace, we have a workspace. In that workspace projects, in the projects, we have that folder. So that is the actual environment for it. So that is the project workspace, and this is the environment. So I will take a snapshot here, so that in the note you will get a clarity about this. This is your project's workspace, and this is your project's location, and this is the content. Yeah. So I will keep this in our notes so that it will be easy for you. So the environment. So this is the location. That means this is the project environment. This is the project environment. This is what you have got. Right? That is everything here. Right? Now important is, yeah, this is your application. This is your application. That means in the project workspace, you have node modules. In the node modules, you have these projects. In the projects, you have Amazon. So this is the infrastructure. Okay. We will understand about this project infrastructure now. Step by step, we will discuss about that. Before that, now we will learn how to run our project and see once how it looks like. Means what it contains. Currently, whatever files required for our project to start with, everything is set up for you. You have to just manually go there and customize and add some more things according to your requirements. For that, we need to first understand the complete infrastructure of this project, right? So as of now, first we will test our application and see. That means after this, so next point is, so we will test our application and see, and run and test your application. Once run your project. So to run the project, what you have to do is open the terminal. In the terminal, to run the project, you have to write the command here, ng server, and hyphen project. Which project to serve? You have to tell the project name is equal to Amazon. That is how you can start a project. Because so many projects are present. So an application can contain several, a workspace contains several projects. If a workspace has several projects, you have to tell which project to start with. So which project you want to currently run. So this ng serve will start a live server, and on that live server, it will host your application so that you can start interacting your application. Very careful with capitalization. Your project name, commands, if any capitalization issues are there, it will not work. All ng commands initially here in this particular location, all are lowercase here. And the project name will be in the same capitalization how you given while creating it. You cannot mismatch that. That is very important thing to understand. Fine. So now important is when you run this, when you hit enter, right? So this is the command we need. This is the command we need to run. So open the terminal and run this. Hit enter. Now it will build your solution. It will check, are there any errors in your project? If there are any errors in the project, then it will prompt those errors. You need to correct them. Then it can run successfully. So initially, this is the command you have to do. So for that, what you need to do is open workspace terminal, open workspace location in terminal. Then next step here, we have to use the command. So run the following command, and the command will be in this way. So that means we need to define ng serve and the project name Amazon. Now this will start building your application. You can see it is building the application. It is compiling it. It is generating everything according to your requirements, whatever you designed. If there are any issues, then it will show errors. Now once everything fine, remember, still we don't know from where the output is coming. We haven't understood any architecture of application. Just we are testing our project first. So here you can see Angular live development server is listening. It says that I am listening. Now on this port number, localhost 4200, that is the port number. Now you can open your browser and make a request to that port number, the particular URL. So your application is currently running on this URL. So what you need to do now is you need to open the browser, and in the browser we need to just request localhost 4200. You can change the port numbers. You can change the port numbers, right? You can define the port numbers. I already told you we will learn about the infrastructure, from where it is coming, how it is coming, where the files are there. I hope you listened. You listened to that. You understood that point, right? So we are just running it and testing it. From where the files are coming, where the output is coming, where is that library? That is what we are going to learn step by step, right? So don't trigger question immediately. That is what I explained clearly, that we are just running and seeing the output. From where it is coming, how it is coming, we are going to learn. We will see. So how it works, how it compiles, how it process everything detailedly, right? So from where it will get everything, right? We will discuss. So no need to hurry about that points initially. So now I run this 4200 and hit enter. Now it is going to access. That means your application is running. So Amazon app is running. From where this is coming, how to customize this, these all things we are going to learn. We are going to learn. We will discuss about that. That is the key point. Without knowing that, you cannot understand how the process is working. We cannot even build without knowing from where this everything is coming from, right? So we just tested our application, right? It is running. We just tested that application. So what you need to do here is, once you start this, then the next step is, so application, that means application starts on live server, listening on http http://localhost and port number 4200, listening on this particular port number. Now what you have to do is, once it is successful, next step, you have to open any browser and request the following URL. So http://localhost 4200. So then it will get you that result. This is the basic. This is the basic, right? That means this is compiling and processing and everything. What it is compiling, how it is compiling, what is this chunk, you will learn about them. No need to hurry about that, right? That is the next part you are going to understand. First, we need to know the architecture of this. So it is ready. That means our application created successfully and it is working fine. It is working fine. And everything is coming here properly. Now we need to understand, once it is ready, we need to understand the infrastructure. That means the file system of Angular application. We need to understand the file system of our Angular application. So what are the source files, the library source files, and what is their purpose? We need to discuss about all of them step by step. So let's see the basic environment, what is created for you and how everything is configured for you. So let's go into the configuration and see. So means project environment. So let's go into the project environment and see what exactly created for us, right? Let's see. I will go to I will go to here in the main project location. Yeah. So let's close this now. Yeah. So in this project, you can see that this is Amazon. In projects, we have Amazon. In Amazon, by default, we have some folders. We have some folders and files configured there. So we need to understand what is the purpose of that. So, and how do we handle this? How do we work with this? Let's see. What are the folders and files that are currently available here? Let's take a look about them. Right. Actually, in the architecture of our application, the workspace, that means project file system. Yeah, let's add a table for that. Yeah, so let's insert a table here to note about all these things, what we have. Yeah. So in this first point is what are the folders you have in the file, means application structure, right? So Angular application files, right? What are the Angular application files and folders? So you can say infrastructure, what are the important files and folders available? You can see at the top, we have, so I will just define here Angular application folders, files and folders. Okay. And here purpose description, a small description about them. First, you can see you have an E2E. So E2E. So E2E is a folder, E2E folder. Actually, it is an end-to-end folder. Generally, the purpose of this end-to-end folder means what is the main purpose? Actually, what this E2E folder contains, what this end-to-end folder contains. That means it actually contains source files for a set of end-to-end tests. So that means end-to-end tests which are related to the current application, which are related to current application. That means it comprises of end-to-end tests for our application. That means generally the intention of this end-to-end test is, so from development to production, I think already you know the environment. In real world software development, entire development happens usually in 4 servers. The development happens in 4 servers. So we have technically the development happens on 4 servers. We have a development server. So we usually have a development server, means we have a first sandbox server, or we call golden server. And we have a development server. We usually have a development server. So development server. And we have a quality server. So we have a quality server. So quality server. And we have a production server. We usually have a production server. So production server. So our entire development happens in this type of environment, in real world development process actually. Sandbox server is actually the repository server. That means whatever the library required for our application, that means required for building application, the entire repository is here, library is here. As a developer, you are given access to the development server. Access to the development server. So the developers will get the repository from the golden server or sandbox, and we build an application. We build an application in the development server. After building the application, so we move this application to the quality server. So the testing of application happens on this quality server. We test the application on this quality server. And after testing is finished, then we move these to production server. And your application is on production server. And our clients will be accessing and using the application from production server. Our clients will be accessing and using from the production server. If client needs any change in the application, we don't directly do the changes on production server. I think you know that. So again, we have to go to the client wants some changes in application. Again, those changes are approved in a CAB meeting, right? Change approval board meeting, right? And once it is done, now this from the development, again, we build those changes, then they are again tested and they are sent to the production. So software development is actually in real world scenario, entire development process end to end like this. This is the end to end development cycle actually. Means end to end development phase actually. Cycle is very big, right? So here we are building the application, we are testing the application, and we are deploying the application. This is the location where we build the application. This is the location where we test the application. This is the location where we deploy the application. So from development to production, whatever the application have to undergo testing. While building, we test functions, parameters, everything step by step. Unit testing happens. And after that, we test the load, performance issues and all. So testing happens on that. Sandbox is repository server. I told you now, it is a repository server. That means it contains all the repository for building your application. To build application, you need some library, you need some framework, am I right? That everything is present in this sandbox. That is the platform. From that platform, you can pick up everything and you can build application for you. This is a general thing in software development. Any type of project you are dealing with, this is what happens at high level. This is what generally happens at a high level, right? So development, quality, production, and that's the reason generally we have people working various with various experiences. Suppose you put some experience, 5-7 years of experience. Sometimes calls will come to you asking for, we need a person for production support. Are you interested in production support? Right? That means they want people for production support. And sometimes they ask like, we need a person who have knowledge of complete end-to-end implementation. End-to-end implementation means he have a complete idea from development to production, deployment, everything. So generally when experienced people are attending the interviews, so they put the resume and upload into the Naukri, right? Companies will call and they first tell what they need actually. They say that we need person for a production support. We need a person for end-to-end development, because experienced people, first we need these requirements to fulfill, then we can ask them about the points, right? What he has done, what projects he have done, right? But in certain projects we need people in only specific area, because from our production support one person is gone, so and we need immediately a production support person. And I think many of you know that it is not just so easy that you can give production support. So that is not the role of a fresher. That means any technical issue comes for the client, you need to resolve them immediately live, so you need to deal with them. So that is the reason majority of a fresher role will be in development only, or if he is specialized in testing, he will be in testing. But these days fresher means he will be in development. In the production and testing areas we need experienced people, experts, so that they can handle these issues, right? Now that is what actually this E2E is. That is what actually this E2E is. This E2E, you can see end-to-end configuration. And inside this E2E folder, you can observe that E2E contains, so SRC, so source. In that source, you have so many options here. You can see in the E2E, again, a separate environment is there for those files. You can see here, so I select a TS file here, and this is defining some code, some logic. This is defining some logic. And this is asking or defining for a particular tool called Protractor, which is a testing tool. So Protractor is used for testing, right? And testing frameworks we generally use are Jasmine, Karma. These are the testing frameworks. And you see this is using Jasmine Spec Reporter. These all you cannot understand until or unless you are involved in all the process of development, right? But later when situation comes, we can discuss about them, right? Initially, I am just giving a point. What is this E2E? Does it have anything to build the application? So it is not related to building application. It is all related to testing application. So majority of development phase, at the development phase initially, for our level, initially, we don't need this E2E. Now we don't need to work with this E2E. It says that this is testing framework, the base URL is this, and it will give you all the information. It contains the configurations. All the configurations are related for testing environment. So end-to-end testing, not development here. E2 is related to all the files configured for end-to-end testing. All the files configured for end-to-end testing. That is what actually this E2E is. E2E, right? So this will not be useful for you at this level, right? At this level, it is not useful for you. So because that is related to testing, and you can understand that in the testing like environment. Okay. Next, after E2E, you can see you have an SRC folder. SRC folder. This is the location where your all project related resources are present. SRC contains the project related resources. That means project needs several files. It needs several components, services, and all to work with. So all the project related files, files are present in this SRC folder. So you have an SRC folder, and this SRC source files for the root level application. That is a simple point. In that, what it contains, so much is there, right? Initially, SRC. So what is the purpose of this SRC? Is usually it contains source files for the root level application. It contains all the source files for root level application. Actually, it includes includes both both dynamic and non-dynamic files. Dynamic and non-dynamic files means files like images, CSS, which doesn't require any compilation and processing. They come under non-dynamic. You have an image, you have a PDF document, you have a Word document, so you have icons. All these comes under non-dynamic. Dynamic are which need a compilation process to happen. They should be compiled, they should be processed and generated with the output. Then we call them as dynamic. All the both dynamic, non-dynamic files are present in this location. All are present in this location. That is SRC. We will go into this SRC in the later stage. Because inside SRC, so many other options are present. Because we need to separately discuss about this. If we are going into project, you have to go into this SRC. Now, when I go into this SRC, you can see some more folders and files are there. It is a very huge infrastructure. Some more folders and files are present. So we will get back to that. First, we will finish the high-level design for this. Okay, that means we have E2E for testing, SRC application source files. We have a browsers list. So that is one file you are having there, browsers list. So this browsers list, actually the intention of this browsers list is it configures sharing of target browsers and the Node.js versions among with various front-end tools. That means actually the browsers list contains the information about the target browsers, different front-end tools. So what is the point is on which browser, so it can work, on which browser it can work, which compiler it can use, so which version of browser is needed. So all such information is defined inside this browser list. That means our developer can set up for any specific browser. We can target to any specific browser. We can exclude any particular browser because what we design may not suit for every browser. That means this is the configuration to share target browsers and Node.js versions between different front-end tools, various front-end tools. So which even include options like plugins that are used by the browsers, right? That means whether this plugin is available or not, whether this plugin is supported. Suppose I want to publish a video. So video files requires a Flash plugin. You need a Flash plugin. And many times you see if that plugin is missing, it will show you immediately saying that you need a Flash plugin. You don't have the plugin, please install that plugin. You might have seen that very regularly. So that is what actually that browsers list. So you can go to this browsers list. You can see. So it says that currently, so which version of browsers, so what is the Internet Explorer version supported and which one is removed, whether to remove it or not, all such configurations are defined here. Remember, we can write the configurations here. We can define the configurations here. Initially, we are just examining. So what are those options, right? Yeah. Another important file you can see, karma config. So karma.conf.js, that is another file you can see. Actually, Karma, just now I showed you, right? This is an application specific, actually this is an application specific configuration file. It is an application specific Karma configuration file, config file. config file. So actually Karma is a testing framework, right? Karma is used for testing. So this is related to testing related configuration file. So which version, which framework, so that is defined here. That means which framework to use, what are the plugins required for that, all the configuration for testing related information is defined here. And in which port number the testing will work for this application, on which browser it is targeting. So all this information will be there. So testing related options are configured here. Okay. And we have a tsconfig config dot tsconfig dot app.json. It is a application specific TypeScript configuration file. Application specific TypeScript configuration file. What is a TypeScript configuration file? Yesterday I told you what is a TypeScript configuration file. This is application specific TypeScript configuration file. What is difference between those two is there is a TypeScript configuration file here at the workspace. This is for all projects and this is for only one project. All projects can have certain TypeScript rules and every project can have its own individual rules. So always it will work with individual rules first. After that it will go with global rules. Right? If you define any individual rules for TypeScript configurations that are defined in this tsconfig, outside you have another one. Already we learnt about that. Another file is there, tsconfig.spec.json. Anywhere you see this file spec, it is a specification for testing. That means it is TypeScript configuration testing. It is a TypeScript configuration for the application tests. For application tests, we need one TypeScript configuration file. So that is tsconfig. Anywhere you see spec as a name for file, it is related to testing that file. And one more option is there, tslint.json. What is tslint? Yesterday I told you. And what is different between yesterday and now is, yesterday it is related to complete workspace. And this is application specific tslint. It is application specific tslint. Tslint means it contains the rules for TypeScript, right? These are all the options present in the high level of this particular folder. And now we need to go into this SRC folder. In SRC folder, our project is there. Our project resources are there. In this, again, you need to understand what is app, what is assets, what is environment. You need to understand architecture, how it starts with, how it runs, how it compiles, where it will start from. All these are very important that we will discuss in tomorrow's session. So by tomorrow, you will get a clarity how Angular application will work with complete architecture. Okay. Up to that, you can just practice the environment. Then tomorrow we will see the final structure from where it actually starts and works with. Then you will get more clarity about this. Then we can start building application, right? Tomorrow we'll continue with this.